how to be healthy, how to stay healthy, and how do you keep healthy when everything around you is sick, has disease, has illness, is contaminated, there's toxins. I mean, literally, this is the best time to live, I think, in history. The cross section of all of these opportunities, technologies, and people in this world. No one can say for certain because everybody knows that all it took is one person to wipe the history, and we've been seeing burning of books, libraries, and whole vast stores of information. So the best that we can do is just rely on the fundamentals and the principles that we know ourselves. And when we forget or when we let go of these fundamentals, it's not just putting our own selves at risk, it really is putting our friends, our family, the people around us, and society at large at risk, because we may make a lot of money in a for-profit or a capitalist society that fixes a bunch of problems and pats ourselves on the back for doing all these things that makes money, but doesn't make life, health, or any meaning better. And that's the point. I'm going to offer in this video 7 health fundamentals that you absolutely should follow, should have, and should be mindful of as we get into how to do this health planning process. So these are the 7 health fundamentals, exactly what they are, a little bit about them, and how you should be thinking about them and applying them in your daily life. All right, so the 7 health fundamentals, and I'm going to go through them in the order of things that we should be doing more frequently or more mindful of to the things that are less frequent, but by no means are these in order of importance. They're all as important. So the first one is intention, right? It's just understanding that we have a choice, and life itself, our decision, our choice to be here was our choice. And I want to frame it that way because it's so easy to blame or to point the fingers, but we want to understand that when you point the finger at somebody, 3 are pointing back at you. And in that way, intention, and the intention to be healthy, and the intention to live well, and the intention to be the best version of yourself now is some of the best and highest choices that we can make. So I'll leave that for now. And then when it comes to the second one, we're talking about breath. A lot of people, we all do it, but we don't think about it. And so a lot of people have heard of, some of these new breath practices or trainings, or maybe they've, been to a yoga class, or they've heard of people removing disease just through breath practices. And it's clinically documented, proven things that you can do with just breath. So the importance of breath isn't to be taken lightly. And water. Water, we all know that we need water and the importance of it. But the 2 things that I gotta say is we're just not mindful of just how contaminated the water is today. And then the second thing is that we've been sold a lot of marketing lies. Like alkaline water, we were told that it's good, but turns out it's not anything that your body needs at all. You can't just drink alkaline water to make your body alkaline. And in fact, whenever you do anything to your body is always trying to keep it in balance. So we want to be mindful of restoring a balance rather than trying to just move or force something in one way. And when it comes to sunlight, the sunlight is the most important thing that drives our cellular energy and gives our body the signal that we are living healthy and we're in the right environment. Sleep is very important, and we also want to make sure that we sleep in the right ways. And of course, the food that we eat. So the food isn't just about eating the right foods, organic and GMO. It's understanding that there are things called food allergies. And if we have a food allergy, and if it's chronic, consistent, and we don't treat it or we don't remove it from our diet, we might end up going to the hospital for something that was as simple as a food allergy. And the sleep is very important, because when it comes to sleep, the quality of the sleep and being able to have a full darkness and shutdown is very important. And also being awake during the proper hours, getting the right sun, because 90% of the vitamin D that we get is through our eyes. It's not something that we eat. We actually get it through the sunlight, and our body converts it into vitamin D. It's very important that we get real and pure sunlight, not obstructed by the atmosphere, but real. And then the last health principle I would say is to stay human. This is something that I didn't think I would add, and I didn't think I would need to add, but it is very important to stay human and to not openly trade our body and our health for things that promise it. I mean, even later when they tested, I'll let a couple generations go before I start implanting chips, implanting computers, and implanting things into my body where they promise a good result, but who knows? Maybe something goes wrong, maybe something short circuits. And being that we are an electrical system, that's a very dangerous territory to have something in our body that can overload it and just cause, irreparable or permanent damage, and worse. So the thing I would say about these health fundamentals is just understanding what they are, understanding that if you get any of these right, even one of these right completely, and as they say, God or devil is in the details, and there's nothing more true when it comes to life. I mean, you can understand these 7 health fundamentals, but if you don't actually make the choice or have intention, and you just take it silly, or you use words and you don't understand the power of it, and you talk down to yourself, then it can be very challenging, in this life. And then the same thing with breath. If you know about breath, but you're always short of breath, or you don't develop the right habits to control and to choose how you breathe, then the same patterns will show up in all the other areas of your life, right? And so these things aren't just fundamentals of health. They're fundamental ways of living and of being well. So that's what we want to talk about, and that's what we want to explore. I'm not a guru of health. I've been very blessed to work with a lot of dentists, a lot of doctors, and a lot of healers, a lot of people that I cherish and I respect very much because of what they've been able to share with me, or the experiences that they've been able to, tell me. And I've learned a lot, not just from books. I learned more from talking to people and working with patients one-on-one, like through a practice, live or virtually, and I think that's the biggest thing that we've removed from our society, is the permission and the place to make ourselves healthy, to choose our own health. It's almost as if right now we buy a health insurance card, and we pay a doctor, and we've delegated, or we've almost given up our power by constantly, every time we so much as have a sniffle, almost as sometimes we have a stomach ache or a headache, we run to the doctor. And not only do we run to the doctor, we give up our critical thinking and our ability to know our body and understand it. Because you tell me, between a doctor that's seeing you for 15 minutes, and yes, he has a protocol, and yes, he has questions, and yes, he might even have a track record. He might even be the #1 doctor in the world, but as a reputation. But this doctor has only seen you for 15 minutes or maybe an hour or so. And there's this very important concept that I think you're going to understand about health. And as you come to know, these health fundamentals, and really just the reality of life, is as a human being, we're not able to see everything. And whenever any person has the arrogance that they know everything, or that they're able to heal and fix other people, you're going to get into trouble, in any area of life, right? We know this. We know that in a relationship, you can't fix people and you can't change people. They have to choose for themselves. Yet in healthcare, we expect to pay our doctor and for them to make us healthy. I mean, they can't. The best thing that they can do is give you cures. And you're going to see how there's a very big difference between curing and healing people. Cures are very temporary, and it may get you out of a symptom or out of pain, but it's not healing. And a lot of cures come with side effects and other, symptoms. So when it comes to understanding your health and having that proper health, I strongly invite you to look at, consider, and adopt as many of these fundamentals, or all of them. And if you think that there's something that I missed, or if you think that there is something I should share on my next videos, I would love for you to comment down below and let me know, what else I should add to this. But This is a journey of mine that I've taken. I started about 5, 6 years ago when I lost my dad very suddenly. And what I didn't know then, I am coming to know more clearly now every day. And the one thing that I would tell myself is this, is that 70% of all heart disease and breast cancer does start from the mouth. And most people don't die of heart disease, breast cancer, or even other cancers. They're dying because 90% of the time there's some kind of infection or some kind of disease or decay. And it's not that there has to be a dental issue. Sometimes it's stress, sometimes it's our choice. So intention does play a role. But if we're eating bad food, bad water, it definitely accelerates this process. They work together to bring us down. And so we want to make sure to restore our health fundamentals. And if you haven't heard of it, make sure you get the health planning guide below. I mean, when you think about it, it's the silliest thing that we don't have one, and we all should. In fact, we can probably say that we've been tricked in some sorts, but I don't want to promote that narrative. So instead, I want to say we've all done the best that we can, and we were all focused on maybe the things that we needed to right in front of us. But as we grow, as we get smarter, and as we learn from our mistakes, the number one most important thing in living isn't a retirement plan. It isn't a financial plan. It isn't even an education plan if we're educating ourselves or learning everything other than what really matters, which is, why are we here? It's those big questions of who I am, what is this place that I have? And if those are too out there and things that you don't want to think about, I think we can all agree the real plan that we should have is at least a health plan. So if you want to get the health planning guide, I have a free version down below where you can get these health fundamentals that I've worked through and some of the quick tips, the cheat sheets, if you will. A couple years ago or a few years ago, you might have seen like the Dirty Dozen versus the Clean, and it was a list that was created to help people navigate the grocery store and know which vegetables or which fruits were really the troublemakers and which ones that you can kind of get away with eating. Well, in the same sense, let this be a guide for your health journey. It isn't a end all be all, and there are differences. US and the food system that we have here is literally one of the worst. And so my intention is just to shine the light on some of the things that took me a long time to find, because everybody, especially in this for-profit capitalist culture, they want to pat themselves on the back by making money. But we don't really talk about the good news or the people that are really doing the good things. So that's what I want to focus on. That's what I've decided. And I invite you along for the journey to follow along and to be healthier. So first thing is get the health guide. In the next videos, we'll talk more about the fundamentals, breaking it down, and there'll be a challenge that we'll do if you want to follow along with the videos. So go ahead and subscribe to this video and this channel if you'd like. If you liked any of the information, let me know, what you liked, what you learned. And if there's any questions or content that you'd like to see in the next videos, go ahead and leave that down below, and I'll go ahead and see you in the next video.